Good morning, everyone. I have Colin Lamb here from Mortgage and Finance Solutions, and Colin and I are going to have a very quick chat about one of the subjects I know he's very passionate about, which is helping clients enter the property market and really getting ready to buy a property. Good morning, Cole.
Good morning, Stace. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, and ready for another day in the finance and property market.
That's good. I was going to say, is this the best season the Dockers have ever had?
You can start again if you like.
And recording starting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to put some light humour in there.
Yeah.
So we speak to a lot of clients at the moment, pre-COVID, during this time, and people who are looking beyond. Now some of the restrictions are lifting, but probably even more towards the end of the year about buying property. And we're speaking to still a lot of people who are interested in buying property, but maybe not quite ready or could be as ready as they can be. What are some of your biggest tips on how to get started to get ready to buy?
Yeah, you're pretty right, Stace. I'm seeing a lot of buyers out in the market at the moment. I'm finding when I'm speaking to them, they're actually really just not ready to make that jump in buying. But it's all about just being ready and being prepared to actually buy when an opportunity comes along. The first thing I sort of go to is actually know what your limits are, and along with that, it's best to look at getting a pre-approval of finance. With that, you're basically going to be working out what your borrowing capacity is, which is actually determines what your buying capacity is. So it's really understanding what your maximum is in order to actually then look at what property you can actually then look at buying. From there, what I suggest to people is to actually find an area, not just one suburb, but an area whereby, it might be in the sort of East Vic Park, Carlisle, Lathlain, Victoria Park area. So you're zoning in on those sort of, that sort of region as such.
So would you pick like a main suburb and then pick some of the ones around that main suburb as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you either live north or south, you sort of live east or west, or, there's something that will determine where you want to live. And so it's to trying to work out where you want to buy. From where you know you want to buy, pick an area like that. And then it's always a good idea to actually then register with some of the prominent real estate agents in that area. A lot of these guys or gals run around with what they call a buyer's list. And a lot of properties are actually being sold with what they call off market. And so they actually only go to really their database, which is people that are actually on their buyer's list ready to go. And they really don't want to be mucking around with sort of anyone who's a bit wishy-washy and sort of, what I call a carpet crusher. People that are just wandering through home opens and not really ready to buy. Then it links into then looking at making an offer. And so when you're looking at making an offer, it's all about being prepared and showing some confidence to the real estate agent that you're ready to go and you're good for the money. Understanding of what the property price is. There's a lot of information online at the moment, and we use a software called RP Data, which can actually provide reports to buyers. This can help you determine what your price would be. It's not a valuation, but it can help you, and it's a bit of information, which is good. Understanding the terms and conditions that you want to put onto that contract, such as how long for finance, how long for a settlement from finance approval, building and pest inspections, anything like this. You really want to make sure, even to the point of having your settlement agent ready to go when they ask you all those things. All these things make you probably ahead of the queue when the agent's considering your offer against another person's offer, which what I've seen before is if you like a property in that area, then I bet you 2 or 3 other people will also want it. So being ready, giving confidence to the real estate agent is one of the biggest things. It's really then what price you then go in at. A lot of people in this current market think the property market's going to be, going down 20, 30%, etc. I'm not really seeing that myself. The properties that I'm seeing, agents are listing them and selling pretty close to the asking price, if not higher.
I'm seeing a lot go in the first few days of, I'm seeing lots of agents post that they're going in the first few weeks, sometimes few days of putting a listing up if it's priced well.
Totally. And they start that process, I think, with the off the market
Yeah.
type of selling process. So they go out to their database, they create that sort of, I suppose, that demand and that pressure. And then, but determining what price, you always want to make sure you're within your own price guide. So, you know, if you're looking at lowballing a property, so, you know, 40, 50 grand below the price, you're probably not going to be at the dance. So the real estate agent is probably really not going to consider your offer unless you're reasonably close. The best part of the way I look at it, if you're prepared to pay a certain dollar figure, especially if there's quite a bit of demand for that property, I'm suggesting to consider going in at what the all maximum price is as your first and final offer. I've had a couple of just recent where they've done that, and they've actually won the transaction in competition with 2 or 3 other buyers. So it's not a matter of trying to lowball, as I said before. It's if you fall in love with the property, and that doesn't happen that often, then you would be kicking yourself if you miss out on it, because you're sort of 4 or 5 grand difference, and you're always going to pay higher. But because you lowball too low, the agent wasn't treating you serious, and so therefore didn't come back to you. They would rather deal with someone else who's actually closer to the offer price.
So what I've really picked up is know the area, do your research, get in touch with a prominent agent in that area, get on their database, social media. They post a lot on social media, so you can see those off-market properties, become educated, prepare yourself so you've got that confidence to enter that negotiation with the seller via the agent with the best tools in your tool belt that you possibly can have, and get that property, because there are still lots of opportunities out there, both for buyers and sellers, even in this market. So if you're prepared enough, you can actually spot that opportunity and probably jump on it quicker and have that bit of an edge.
For sure. So if people would like to actually either look at getting a pre-approval, or even if they want to actually start their due diligence process in their research, feel free to contact us to any of our brokers that can actually provide you with an ARPI data report totally at no cost, either for our website www.mfsa.com.au, or text me on 0419 944 497.
Fantastic. We'll also put a link with this Facebook post as well. Excellent. That you can ask any questions. And just before we go, I just want to make sure that people know that when they get a pre-approval from us, it's a true pre-approval. We do a full assessment. A lot of pre-approvals that you might get through your lender are just a bank generated one where they haven't looked at your documents. So it's really important that when you do get a pre-approval, it's one so that you know that when you do put that offer in and you go through the rest of the process, there are no surprises. Thanks, Paul. Have a wonderful day, and we'll speak to you next week.
See you, everyone. Bye.